Without the algorithm pushing your books out to the readers, a lot of the traffic heavily relies on you. In today's video, I'll be discussing 5 different ways that I use to promote and market my book. In a previous video, I talked about the top 5 platforms I use to sell my books, and I also said it needs traffic. A quick search on Google, it tells me that for Americans to live comfortably, the ballpark of income would be around about $8,500 a month. Though it argues that most authors earn less than £1,000 a month. But it's Google. Google's not exactly a reliable source, so I don't know how true that is. In the UK, it sits somewhere in between around about £5,000 a month to live comfortably, to pay all the bills and have a little bit spending money afterwards. The problem is, with retailers taking more and more out of their orders, it takes longer and more sales to get there. Selling books direct, it allows you to have more of your hard-earned money rather than giving it to the big CEOs. So, here is my 5 methods that I use to promote and market my books direct. With networking, when I'm out and about, I try to strike up conversations. Then the question comes up of, what do you do? Occasionally, I would lead the conversation towards that route. And then I ask them. If reciprocate, then I would say, as casually as you like, I write books. The question after that, more often than not, is, what genre? That's when the books come out. More often than not, it does end in a sale. If I have the books on me, then I'll pull the books out of my bag. If I don't, then the next question is usually, can you get them online? And of course the answer is yes. And then I would give them my website. It'll have all of my books on there. Unfortunately, the downside is having to actually carry around a load of books and socialise. Something else I do is popping into the shops and hang around the book aisles, even if I'm only there to buy a pint and look. So I walk through the book aisle, and if I see someone standing there who aren't particularly happy with their choices that's available, then I'd make a little throwaway comment of going, well, my book's not on there. If they pick up a book that I write that's in the genre that I'm writing, then I mention that I write that genre. It's called this. And then I give them a quick line or two pitch. Sometimes they do look it up and then buy afterwards. Sometimes not. But sometimes it's definitely better than never. I did this just yesterday, and I redirected them to my website, along with the title of my book that I think they might enjoy. In person, naturally you would need some on hand, Although it's not ideal to carry a stack of books when you go out, but it does come with some benefits. And I've sold a fair few copies this way. It'd be a good idea to have a SumUp app on your phone if you don't want to carry around a card reader. I prefer card readers, but parents won't. No one carries around cash these days. But walking up to people is outright terrifying. But when people are walking to you, it's a whole different ballgame. You can contact colleges, schools, or whichever your target audience is, and see if they're open to having a guest appearance. You can talk to a class or classes about your writing process and inspiration. Have a Q&A session afterwards of learning how to write a story. Then, at the end, give an option to buy a signed copy of your book. You need to plan this in advance, but it is effective. And it does bring sales. Plus, the awe on the students' faces never gets old. If you have the room and inventory, you can also opt to host a book event, local flea market, or a book convention, or a local cafe. So, if I'm in a cafe, I'd have a stock of books with me, with a hold up card, with the price scribbled on it, and I'd have my SumUp card reader on standby, just in case. However, if the weather is nice enough, then you can head into like the local high street or city centre, pick a spot where you can be seen and sell your books. Because shoppers, there's loads of them. In the same way some people will sell their magazines, so just stand outside and ask people if they want to buy a copy. In my case, I'll show up the themes of my books, like headlines of a newspaper. But you want to plan ahead. If you don't, then it rains, it's going to spoil the whole day. So opt for an outside location and make your plan flexible. If it rains, find some shelter or move to an inside venue. Plan B is always a bonus. But absolutely have a hot card reader for this, because you can sell quite a few. You don't want to go around carrying a load of cash. Email marketing is also a really good way to get some sales. Get a little sales. One works in two parts. An email list for writer subscribers, so you can offer collaborations and partnerships. And an email list for reader subscribers to sell your books to. Here's where I believe a lot of people go wrong. I made the same mistake for months. Mixing readers and writers isn't always ideal, and a lot of time, at least in my experience, it muddies the waters, and people are looking for audience rather than people who will actually spend money to buy books, rather than freebies. So, I have two separate lists, one for readers, one for writers. Offering subscription memberships and reader magnets, you can grow your audience faster that way as well. As long as it's books that actually, and the genres that they actually read. But if they're only for the freebies, or just for the one, then you're going to have a lot of subscribers, but it's just going to sit there and there's going to be little to no activity. So on my recent newsletter, since I am writing a new genre, I'm offering a 4-page metadata sheet for the authors. For the readers, I'm offering short stories related to the world my books are based in, and a 3-chapter sample. So they both generally do well, so I alternate them now and again. Social media is also a big one. Places like TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, they all have reader-based communities ready and waiting for the next book. So it's a good idea to use it to your advantage. If you are using TikTok, I think after a fair amount of subscribers, if it's on the business subscription side, although they are changing the rules coming up, so it has to be verified, otherwise they just put it on personal. But you want a way to put your website on your profile so that they can click the link and see your books. A lot of people use Linktree for this. So it's an option, the main website or Linktree, either works. On the other platforms, you're able to copy and paste your link straight into the description box. So it's going to be there whether it's clickable or not. But part of the social media platforms are also blogging. Writing a blog once or twice a week about your book's progress will help with your book's visibility. At the foot of the posts, I tend to put a banner of promoting other people's books that are similar to the one I am writing. It helps if they like the books that are displayed, they know that they generally will really like your book as well when you finish writing it. Start early if you want to get more audience before you finish. Then there's also the option of live streaming. Though TikTok and YouTube doesn't allow this straight away, you can utilise the other platforms that does. Hopping on a live stream for a Q&A about your writing and put your books in front of the audience takes little effort. Plan ahead and join a few live streams on platforms like Twitch and Facebook. I believe you can go live straight away. But there are platforms there, and you can build your audience and gain visibility whilst you're still building the other platforms. When I started, I used Twitch, whilst I grew my audience everywhere else. And then there's the online bookstore. Whether you're promoting in one place or all of them, having at least one store is a must-have if you want to reach the rest of the world. Pick one as your primary site, i.e. WordPress, PayHip, etc. and display your books there. You can use external links or images to link it to a secondary site, so that whilst you're building your main primary site, you can also use it to transfer your books from unwanted sites. You also have the option of selling merch, key rings, character art, maps, posters, heck, you can do hoodies and bags. It's just a matter of finding the printers that offer the service. For me, I use Canva and Vistaprint to create my merch. It's inexpensive and you can fulfill the order at the beginning or the end of the day. If you don't want to stock an inventory of your books, you can link your books to a print-on-demand like Lulu or BookVault. BookVault is partnered with PayHip, so you can integrate with them. If using WordPress though, you can use an URL link to attach the books to be taken to the book page where they can buy it from. If you're using Shopify, you can link your books with Lulu Direct's integration. I like keeping some books on hand. It allows me to send out signed copies and to add bookmarks to the order. The people who just wants the book, the online bookstore also makes it easier for them to buy the book and allows some discovery. Then the marketing keeps us very busy. On top of writing and publishing books, it's important to try and find balance so you don't get burnt out. So that's my top 5. But next week I'll be talking about discoverability with direct sales. So that's it for today's video, and I'll see you there. Bye for now.